Good morning, everybody. How are you today? I hope you're all well. Whew, it's a scorcher again already. It's so bright. It's the most gorgeous morning. I could have done with it being a bit cloudy, overcast, cooler, to be honest, because I've got a lot to do today. Here is my to-do list. Oh my goodness. So, the theme of today, like the last video you saw, is pretty much chuck it in the soil and see what happens. So everything that's in pot still at the moment, including my own little tomatoes, they're going in the ground today. A bit more re-sowing, both direct sowing in the ground, some parsnips. I'm going to sow yet more brassicas, fingers crossed, but I'm going to slightly change things up, which I'll show you later. So there's tons to do, and the idea is, hopefully by the end of today, either everything will be in the ground, planted, or will have been re-sown, etc., etc., so that I can leave the garden alone a bit and turn my attention to things indoors, like sewing. And you know what? Ideally, June, July and August for me are all about maintenance. So you have that mad flurry through sort of March, April, May of preparing the beds, taking out the winter stuff, getting seeds sown, either direct or in pots, and you know, so much to do, so that hopefully when we get to this time of year, over the next 3 months, it will all be just about watering. There's going to be, we're going to be needing to be watering fairly frequently by the looks of it. A little bit of weeding, a bit of tying in, a bit of nipping out, that sort of thing, a bit of harvesting. But generally it's not hard work, it's not manic work. Good morning, Rusty. It's like I say, it's just the kind of maintenance. And in an ideal situation, the way my year, the rhythm of my year changes at this point, so that I can work from home all day, every day, and then come to the garden in the evening, either for an hour just to water, or if it's a beautiful evening, a couple of hours, so a bit of watering, a bit of weeding. You get the idea. Hello, gorgeous boy. Yeah, so it's going to be quite a busy day today. All sorts of odds and sods. That's what I was saying the other day about when I know it seems nerdy, but literally walking around the garden with the clipboard, and obviously I have my beds numbered in my head, so I can just make a really detailed list of everything that I would like to do. If I don't get it all done, that's fine. Within the list there are some priorities, but hopefully over the course of the next 6 or 7 hours, if my body holds up and it doesn't get too hot, we'll crack through this list. Before I even do anything though, I'm going to give this one a bit of a cuddle. Hey? Oh, gorgeous boy. Excuse us while we cuddle. Wowzers. Sack the forecasters. This was not the weather I was expecting. Gorgeous, but it's really hot. I've slapped on the sun lotion. I've already drunk a gallon of water. So, little tiddly gardener's delight. So this was my second sowing. Gosh, I can't even remember when I did them now. End of April, I think. Yeah. They really weren't doing very much at all at home. They had, you know, perfectly good light, perfectly good warmth. They just didn't want to get going, so I brought them to the allotment about a week ago, maybe it's 2 weeks ago. Nice little bit of roots on there, good. And I thought, if I just sit them outside in the natural daylight in the air, maybe they'll figure out what they're supposed to do. And they have come on a little bit. Now, look what the sun's done to the soil again. It just bakes these lumps hard. So what I might do, because I just want to earth them up a little bit, if I've got some compost left over at the end of today, I might just put a little bit of compost around all of them. Whew. Certainly feels, I forgot to put my stick in, I certainly feel like I'm in the Mediterranean today. And that's what I mean about, wanting to get all these little jobs done. I want to now spend time in the garden where, yes, I'm watering and doing little jobs, but essentially I can also just sort of sit back and relax a bit. Oh, maybe with a nice long cold beer, or with a nice bottle of elderflower champagne, if that comes to anything. I don't know what sequence of videos we're in at the moment. I seem to be I feel like I'm filming every other day, so I don't know whether you'll have seen the elderflower champagne video yet, or whether that will be the next one to come. But it's currently still brewing. And it will need about 4 weeks before it's, before I start drinking it. Ideally, it gets left for 6 months, which would be kind of perfect for Christmas and the New Year. Will it last that long? I doubt it very much. Again, there's some nice little roots on that one. Good, good, good. This warmth that we're having really should help things get away. If we could combine it with a bit of rain. Oh, it's the gardener's dream, isn't it? Warm sunny days, rainy nights, not pelting rain, just enough to give everything a good little soaking. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need some compost to earth these up a little bit. Mind the roots, Vivi. Look how tiny they look. Do you know what? Who knows? Maybe in a month's time, I'll be looking at them and saying, do you remember how tiny they were at the beginning of June? Look at them now, they're monsters. We live in hope. Right, let's get the rest of this row in. The last one to pop in on this little row is a soleil. Soleil, ole, ole, ole. Seems very suitable for today. This is some seed that Jackie sent to me. Thank you, Jackie. She had some of my rose de ben, I had some of her soleil. And compared with everything else that didn't come up, it's done okay. So I'm putting it in the corner here where, I don't know if you remember back to last year, but this is where I had the 4 quarters of the, or not 4 quarters, 4 chunks of the rose de ben as planned volunteers. There's absolutely no sign of them. It's sod's law, isn't it? Most years I'm pulling out blimmin' stray tomatoes from every bed. This year, nada. But I shall look forward to this one. Like I say, it's a little cherry, a yellow cherry, which I've not had before. Yay! Lots and lots of new tomatoes this year. In we go. Right, that's it for this bed. Let's start in bed number 3. Right, next job on the list. Clear the last of the broad beans. Oh, it's been a fantastic harvest this year. Pounds and pounds of them. So into the bucket for now, but then they'll all come home with me to be podded. I'll just get this lot chopped up. All the ones I podded yesterday, I brought the pods back to go in the compost heap. I've this, oh sorry, it's a bit noisy at the minute, isn't it? Now you could, what they call crop and drop, just leave all the broadbean foliage on the ground, but I'm desperate to make compost, so I'm going to get this in the compost bin, which will help it to compost more quickly, and I will just, once this bed is replanted, I'll use grass clippings for mulch. So, oh, wrong bin. This is going to be followed with a few rows of coco de pampol, and then just at the back there I'm going to have my Rose de Berne tomatoes, which again, they're ones I grew from my seed. They're tiny. I honestly don't know if they'll come to anything, but I just thought I'll just whack a row in there and see what happens. This patch will need a bit of a tickle first. And the other thing I've done for now is at the end of the broad bean bed, I'm remembering not to eat the lot this year, I've just sort of ring fenced 3 or 4 plants which will be for seed saving. So they'll just stay in there now, gradually die back, pods will dry up, shrivel up, I'll harvest the beans, let them dry some more, and then come October they'll be going back in the ground. Yay! This variety was super aquadulce, and I sowed it back in October, or I'm going to just stand on the soil for now. Sowed it back in October, chucked a little bit of fleece over it to give it a tiny bit of protection over the winter. And the great thing about an autumn sowing is, look at this, we're at the beginning of June, they're coming out, I can get another crop in, which is brilliant. And also by the time the black fly came, plants were established enough, well established for me to just take the tops out, and it really wasn't too much of the plant going to get rid of the black fly, and they carried on doing their thing. Yay! Right, I think it's time for you lot to go and have a G&T whilst I get on with this. Oh, someone pour me one, eh? It might seem like a faff to take all your beans home to pod them and then bring all the pods back, which is what this lot is, but taking them home in their pods just keeps them fresher for that bit longer. This weighs a ton. Oh, that's very satisfying though, isn't it? Look at all those empty pods. Lovely compost to make. Just masses and masses of material. Fantastic. And it won't take that lot long to rot down. So yeah, everything in the compost bin, guys. So that lot I'm picking today, tomorrow I'll repeat this. If I have time to pod tonight, pod to a tennis match. Now, this could all go horribly wrong, but what I'm thinking is, oh, scritchy scratchy, get the cold frame open as much as possible. Then put this debris netting over the top for some shade, because I need to think about my brassicas. So in the past I've had them actually where the deck is, under shade netting, and I just keep them in pots over the whole summer, and then at the end of the summer when onions and bits and pieces come out, the brassicas go in. But I don't have that space, so what I'm thinking, maybe a double layer. If I can cover the cold frame with this to provide a bit of shade, and then, hold on, re-sew everything. Actually, there are some little teeny tiny ones that are hanging on that I could maybe try and prick out today. Actually, I will do. I'll do it in the shade by the shed because it's stinking hot day today, and I think it's time I got myself some shade as well as the plants. So I think if I just tuck it in a bit and close the top window, will that hold it? Let's have a go. Where there's a will, there's a way, and all that. Oh, hold on. Oh, actually I could leave the middle one open for even more air. Yeah, that's the way. Put down that one. Yeah, it's quite shady under there. There'll be air coming in from all the sides and in the top here. What else am I going to do? Like I say, the theme for this year has been, or has become, just give it a go. Just give it a go. I'm really at that stage where nothing to lose and quite a bit to gain. Yay! There's that middle pane. Let's open it right up. I can't find it. Where's it gone? Oh, there it is. Open. Let's get it right open as far as it'll go. Chuck a bit more in there. Yeah. Give it a go. Right, time to prick up, pot on, and start another load of sowings. Hooey. It's getting hotter by the minute. So I've come in the shed for a bit of shade and water. And Bones apart, he's gone outside for a sunbathe. He needs a bit of vitamin D, I think. Oh, yeah, he's outside now. So I've reclaimed my daybed in the shed, which was always part of the dream when I was designing the shed, was to have, and it's 6 foot long, was to have enough space that I could lie out and have a little siesta, but in the fresh air. It's a bit warm for that today. In about another couple of hours or so, it's only about 1 o'clock at the moment, but in another couple of hours my shed will go into shade and it will cool, and because I've got the window at the side as well, I can just have a little lie down and a nice little nap. The garlic, I've taken off the drying rack. It's perfectly dry now, so the drying rack is back up flush with the ceiling, but it reminded me, pardon me doing that today, that I do want to make something, sort of a fabric sling to put underneath the drying rack, so that when things are up there drying, I don't get showered with mud, soil every time I move underneath it. So that's one job to do, plus make the mattress for my daybed. It's perfectly comfortable as it is, but I want even more comfort. I have got the fabric and I have got the kind of the foam. It's like a kind of memory foam. Yeah, posh daybed. Obviously it has not been a priority, but that, for instance, is another reason to get the garden done, up and running, as it were, apart from the little tinkering maintenance things, so that I can spend time doing other stuff. So I hope you guys are getting to the same stage. of everything's planted, so you can do other things. Right, I think for the minute I'm going to have a 40 winks. It actually looks like it's beginning to cloud over a bit, which is great, because after I've had my little break now, I'm going to get back out there and it's all going to be about seed sowing, pricking out, all those last, anything that's left on the deck, plant it out, flying at it. See you in a minute. It's sod's law, isn't it? The minute I decide to have 40 winks, the phone goes, never mind. I need to get on anyway. So, this poor little Ococha, well, is it going to come to anything? I'm going to leave it. And what I've done is I've bunged another seed in, because I really wanted to get some greenery up and over the fence this summer. The grapevine is obviously alive, but it's not really doing anything yet. The loofah, I've put 3 new ones in the other day, and they're not really doing much, but they're not dead. They haven't been eaten, and they're not dead. And this year, that's a bit of a miracle. So yeah, I'm gonna pop this Gigantes in right in front of the Ococha, which might seem a little bit mad, but if the Ococha wants to get going, and seeing how it got going on my neighbour's plot last year, wow, it went for it. If it wants to get going, fab. I think they'll be all right together. If it doesn't want to get going, well, let the Gigantes take over. Because then hopefully I'll have something green up there and some food. I hope these loofahs do okay. I really want them for my pot scrubbing and general washing up, both of dishes and my body. Keep your fingers crossed, everyone. That's the theme this year, isn't it? Keep your fingers crossed. And I've just got one sad little paprika pepper left, so I thought, oh, I'll just bung that in the corner here as well. No idea if it'll do anything, but it can't sit on the deck for its whole life, can it? So let's just bung it in, gung it in. And then it's going to be time to start doing some more direct sowing. I'm going to do the parsnips in a moment. I've got some tender and true left, but I don't have any half-long Guernsey. But the lovely Paul from Richard's channel, which I hope you guys have had a little look at. Oh, especially Richard's film of the electric storm we had at the end of May. Well, anyway, long story short, Paul has very kindly offered to send me their leftover half-long Guernsey, because the thing with parsnips, what you don't use you can't really keep for the next year, so I'm really grateful that they have had a little bit left over and it's going to come winging its way to me. Yay! Right, let's get on with the tender and true parsnips. Grow, my little beauties, grow! Please. Just before I re-sow the parsnips, let me show you. One, and where's it gone hiding? Where are you? 2. Oh, that's it from the whole sowing. So these 2 are precious. If nothing else comes up, I'm going to have 2 parsnips with my Christmas dinner. Groundhog Day. Hey Rusty, you gonna help me sow parsnips? Oh, sorry buddy, did I dink you on the nose and the elbow? It's like Groundhog Day with the cats as well, every 5 minutes. Meowing for a cuddle or some food. Please work. Oh, goodness me. Yes. A few hopes and prayers are going into this garden. And just as with the carrots, just a little covering with some nice moist compost. Please grow. I don't know what else to do anymore other than just beg my seeds to grow. Pretty please. I've given the drill a good soak, and then later on tonight when I water, I will water it again, because the sun is fierce. Start again. So I thought I'd just sit down for a few minutes. A little bit of peace and quiet. And these two have turned up. Can you just see Rosie there? Oh, they're being silly whatsits. Poppy's actually Rosie's mum. They're going to just sit and be chilled now. But a second ago they were rolling around in that cut grass, pouncing on each other like little lions on the savannah. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a tough life being a cat, isn't it? Nice cosy home to go to later on, but all day to play in the garden. Just watching Poppy's tail is doing... Oh, she's going to stop flicking it. I thought she was going to pounce again. She's in sort of a pounce position. Hey, Poppy. Right, time to sow some seeds, I think. I am most definitely playing in the Last Chance Saloon today. I brought a few more bits and bobs of seeds down from the house. I've got tons of cucumber seed that I saved from last year's harvest, which was great. So hopefully the seeds will produce great plants. And I just thought, you know what? I've got the seed. I might as well get them in. You could, in theory, be sowing squash, cucumber, that sort of thing, direct at the end of May. Do the seeds know it's the first week of June? So my rationale is, I've got spare seed. We're nice and warm at the moment. We've got long light days. We're predicted to be having, oh, excuse me, a lovely long warm autumn. Bit of an Indian summer apparently. So, nothing to lose. Might as well. I've got a bit of leftover compost, leftover seeds. Chuck them in. You never know. You can spot the theme here, can't you? chuck it in, give it a go. You know, even if only one or two of all these come up, in the, I'll be happy, so I should finish my sentence. In the cathedral bed, I've lost one of those squash that I planted. I did have backups, but unfortunately the backup's wheaten. I've got loads more slug traps around the place now, so hopefully no more slug damage. And I just thought, even if one or two of these come up, then it's something to add to the cathedral. Yay! I live in hope. Hope rather than expectation. There are worse ways to live, aren't there? For sure. Actually, let's pop those in there. So that's those. And now I'm going to sow some more brassicas. Again, they should have been sown by May. The thing about brassicas is you get so many seeds in a packet. It's not like the squash where you get one or two. So many seeds. So I might as well chuck a few more in. And then those pathetic little tiny, they're just sitting over there. I mean, they're like that. I am going to prick them out today. Again, the attitude is there's nothing to lose. Get them pricked out. They may just take off. So let's give them a go. Well, that's another job ticked off the list. The teeny tiny prickings, the only things that survived. And I think, hopefully, I'm just bringing the shaded down again. There'll be a fine and dandy in there with some I pricked earlier, and then just beyond, over there you can see that's my repeat sowings. So hopefully, out of all this lot, I might have a cabbage this Christmas or in the spring. Now, I think I'm almost down to one of my last jobs. It's not going to be quite the last job of the day because I still have all the watering to do, but we're nearly there, and it's going to be tricky with one pair of hands. And what I was saying the other day when I was planting up the lovely little planter from Kate about how it's lovely to have things around the garden which remind you of family, friends, loved ones. Some things, all on reverse. Chaos. Some things remind us of our friends who are no longer with us. Well, this very naughty sign, the railway sign for Whitby, which, if you don't know, is on the northeast coast. Let's just get one in. It's kind of up where my sister lives, and this was a little present from her. I love Whitby. The North Yorkshire coast is just beautiful. Of course, some of you may know Whitby for Bram Stoker, Dracula. I love getting my tin signs up. It starts to look like home, doesn't it? Oh, that. I'm almost out of energy, just conserving my last little bit for the watering. Oh, you don't want to go in, do you? There we go. Home sweet home, the deck. Right. Watering. Are you tired, mate? You having a little sit down, rest your feet? Oh, mind, you've not done any work today. Wowzers. What a session. It may not seem like much by the time I put it into a 20-30 minute video, but that's like, I don't know, best part of 6 hours today. But it's such a relief, and look, can you see? It's all crossed off. ignore that bit because that bit's for the next work party day. But all of my bits crossed off, yay! I'm so chuffed. It's been well worth it today. Look, as I said right at the beginning, and I've been saying all through today, with some of that stuff I've no idea if it's going to work, especially with sowing seed this relatively late for the things they are. Oh, I've got an itchy eye and a dirty finger, never mind. But in for a penny, in for a pound, might as well, yeah, definitely the tone of it at the moment, might as well chuck it all in, see what happens. And now I can breathe a great big sigh of relief, because now I can visit the garden either daily in the evening if it needs watering, or if we're getting rain, I don't need to come at all necessarily. And then just 2 or 3 little visits through the week, just a half an hour or so at a time. Bit of weeding, pinching out side shoots on the tomatoes, tying them in. They will need some little teepees making for them, but now it's all relatively tinkery sort of jobs. I'm into tinker time. Oh, what a relief. And more importantly, I'm now at the stage where I can stick my chair on the deck of a nice warm evening and just sit back and enjoy the garden for what it is. Bliss. So, on that very chilled out or becoming chilled out note, I'm going to say cheerio to you all. I hope your gardens are thriving. I hope you've got the big chunk of works behind you now so that you too can just sit and enjoy. Whatever, whether you're busy or chilling, enjoy every single second. I'll see you soon. Take care.